Josh from barnfinds.com here, out in our shop, working on one of our project cars, our 1961 TR4. So when we got this car, the previous owner had done a ton of work to it. He's gone through all the mechanicals. So he actually found this car in a barn somewhere in rural Idaho. I want to say like Marsing, Idaho or something like that. But it was just a body and then a rotted out frame. And so he found a frame for it, put the body all together, painted it Ford Performance white, got an interior put together for it, got the engine rebuilt, and he got it going. It's got an overdrive unit in it. So it's pretty sweet. But when he put the body together, he kind of just threw it together. That's what it kind of looks like. I can't blame him. It's pretty complicated getting these bodies all lined up correctly. So I'm going through and just redoing all the panel alignment to try to get it a little bit straighter, so it's got some nicer gaps to it. I've put a lot of sweat and time, and now even a little bit of blood. Let's see here if I can get that on there. Yeah, there's my blood. Thankfully, nothing serious. Just caught my finger on a panel. Seriously, not a big deal. Just kind of splattered everywhere. I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, so I just want to show you a couple quick things here. I'm going to flip the camera around so I can show you guys, because I've looked all over the internet. There's like zero information, at least photos or videos, showing how to adjust the panels on a TR4. I would think this probably would be the same procedure for a TR3, possibly a TR2, definitely a TR5, maybe even a TR6. I don't know. I haven't looked at those, but we have a TR3 we just got in, so I'm going to have to check that out and see if it is the same procedure. But I can go ahead and flip this around real quick. All right, so as you can see here, we've got decent gaps at this point. I've already done a ton on this. We had gaps here that were so large you could put your finger all the way down to the channel. And then that side over there was almost rubbing. And then our door gaps were just hideous. I need to do this door gap here. But I started polishing out the paint, and I mean, that's going to come out really nice. Like I said, this is Ford Performance white, so we had some spots that needed touched up. So I just went to the parts store and got some paint, and it matches pretty much perfectly. I'll go ahead and open this here real quick. I have the hood lever, or the hood latch, removed right now, which if you're doing this job, I would highly, highly recommend removing it. It's just 2 bolts, because I discovered that it kind of likes to latch in, and if you don't have that lined up right on the latch, you have a hard time getting the hood to release. So I had to take the headlight bins out and undo the bolts to get it to pop loose so I could get the hood back open. But then I discovered something pretty sweet. So our hood adjustment, which is like most people complain about doing the hood adjustment on these. Let me zoom in here. It's just 2 bolts there, 3 bolts on the hood side of the hinge plus 1 on the corner of the hood. Come over here so you can kind of see that. So we got a bolt there, 3 there. Turns out outside of these ones on the side, you can access all of these bolts for the hood adjustment when the headlight bins are out. So what you can do is just loosen them all, just, you know, enough that they hold, but not you don't want it falling off, obviously. And then you can close your hood and slide it around as you need to, both sides, getting it all lined up, and then just reach in and tighten it all together. So that's pretty simple. But I also discovered that our front wings were not lining up quite right at the doors. So what I did is unbolted those just loosely so I can adjust them. And so I couldn't find any documentation showing what bolts to loosen. So what you do is you got screws along the top edge of the fender there. You got to undo those screws, just loosen them so that you know it can move. You got bolts down at the bottom on the inside. There's 2 on the inside of the engine bay, 1 on the outside in the inner side of the fender. Pretty simple to get to those. Let's see if I can. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see them, but they're just right down here below this piece of that wire, and there's a little block down there. But so you just loosen those. There's 2 to 3 bolts down on the bottom edge of the fender. Loosen those. I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to be, but this car was bolted with 1 bolt here inside the door jamb. So you just open the door, you have access. The passenger side didn't have that. So I don't know what one is correct. And then you got to come into the inside of the car. And you can see this car was originally red. But take off your kick panel. There's a bolt there for I believe that's the A pillar. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, don't yell at me. But so there's a bolt there, and then another bolt up in here. You probably can't see it. Loosen those enough that you have some play in the fender, and then you can just slide the whole wing where you need it to be. So I'm going to come over here and take a look at our passenger side, show you that. So this side still needs the door adjusted. I got some alignment issues with the door, just the gap's a little off, and then we need to adjust the wing, the rear wing. But I already did this fender going off of this top line here and then the bottom and the pillar inside to try to get a nice square fender to start with. I got to adjust this gap here at the bottom a little bit more, but you just loosen the bolt to the bottom and you can slide that panel in and out. But so you can see before we had a gap that was finger width at the bottom, and you shouldn't have really that much gap. We have to adjust this door, like I said, but I was able to slide the whole fender back. I kind of had to kink it a little bit, and what I'd noticed, and the reason I actually even messed with it, was that I noticed when you look down the side of the car here, the panel was not flat from the bottom edge up. It looked like it was twisted weird. So I went ahead and straightened that out, and the whole body it looks so much better now. So once you do that, then, you got to come back in and tighten all your bolts back up. I may have to adjust our grill a little bit. There's screws in under here, under your turn signal, and I think possibly under the marker too. But when you have the headlight bins out, it's super easy to go ahead and adjust the grill. So I'll adjust the grill and then this lower valence. I'm not sure yet if we have to take the bumper loose to adjust this valence, but we got just a little bit of gap that's weird at the bottom on both sides. So I'll adjust that out and we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, it's actually been a pretty awesome project. I was kind of dreading it. Panel alignment, we had an MGA coupe, and putting that together, the panel alignment was a huge pain. And this has actually been a little easier than I thought it would be. I was expecting it to be a lot worse. Honestly, it hasn't been too bad. It's literally been an afternoon of work to get where I'm at right now. I pretty much just have a little bit left to do on the driver's side fender, and then to finish adjusting our hood so that we have a nice alignment on the hood, nice gaps all the way around, because you want about a pinky's width around the perimeter, possibly a little less. You don't want a ton of gap in there. Yeah, it's coming along. I'm going to go ahead and clean up all of our drip rails and channels on this. As you can see, the white paint is flaked off, and literally that's the beauty of having a Ford color on a car, is I can go pick it up and it'll match, maybe not perfect, but close enough that no one would ever notice it after it's been polished. But yeah, so I'll get back to work on this, and we'll see what we can do with the paint, see if we can get it looking a little brighter, a little nicer. But right now, I'm going to go hop on a go-kart, and I'm going to go take a spin on our test track, because I've been working hard today, and it's supposed to snow here in the next day or two in Boise. So I want to get a few laps in before it snows. So be sure to subscribe to our channel. We got some video of our go-karts. We got video of our Honda CT70s on there. And of course, other people's finds, projects we're working on. So be sure to subscribe to our channel. Like the video if you did. If not, let us know. If you have questions about TR4s, TR3s, really any kind of project car, let us know. Leave a comment and we'll do our best to try to give you an answer.